Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is June 28th, 2019, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, all day today, all markets involved, G20 meetings today, which is a major event. So just be aware of it. I do expect the markets to be a little bit quiet today. It is Friday number one, and it is G20 meetings. So with that said, okay, just trade accordingly. Now there's another number coming out later in the day, 2:30 South African time out of Canada. Monthly GDP numbers coming out. It's not a major event, but if there are any surprises, you do want to know, since the Canadian dollar has gotten much stronger versus the dollar. And we are actually on support level. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But looking at the Forex markets, looking at the dollar is getting weaker versus the Aussie dollar and the Canadian dollar. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Now looking at the indices, Dow Jones volume pretty much tapers off, so it's not really doing much, okay? Trading within 60 points is not really doing much for the Dow Jones. We'll take a look at that in just a moment also. And then looking at the commodities, gold looking to finding some ground after it bounces, retraces a little bit, and just trading sideways at this 1400 level. Oil stays steady and doesn't really retrace here. So that's a question to see what's going to happen there next. And now looking at commodities, Bitcoin on support after this massive explosion to its upside, and we'll take a look at that as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to take a look at with the Euro USD. We're going to take a look at the Euro USD daily chart. There we go. It's up now. You can see here the daily chart. And we're just pretty much tapering off this 1366 level. Not much doing here, to tell you the truth. And you can see the last couple of days has been really very tight after this decent rally that we've had. And we're just tapering off here. So just, word to the wise, just take it easy today. Don't trade it too aggressively. There's not much going on and the volume is low. So just be aware of that. Now looking at the GBP USD, tapering off here after it hit that resistance level. And that's natural 2666 right now. But what is very interesting is the Aussie dollar. It's above this 70 level, okay, which we haven't been there in a long time. So massive correction for the Aussie dollar. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. It's there. It has some momentum. So I'd like to see this follow through. It's not just a wick. It's actually a candle, which means that there's some solid buying through this, okay? But we do need to break above this 70, 30-ish level to really be bona fide above this resistance level and be past it, okay? Which doesn't mean that we might not test it again as a support vis-a-vis, any kind of retracement that it does have. Now, jumping into the Canadian dollar, you can see we're here, and look at this daily chart, okay? Massive correction here for the Canadian dollar, and we're right there at the bottom of that support level, at 30.98-ish level. And this is really very important, because if we do break this area, guess what? We could go down to the 128-ish level. Okay, and we haven't been in these areas in a very long time. So it becomes kind of interesting when it's multi-year, such as the case right now. Now looking at oil and the gold. Oil is staying steady here, 59.11, not really retracing, while gold did retrace a little bit. Okay, so I do expect oil to continue this rally at some point, maybe not today, but I'm still bullish on oil there. Now looking at gold on a 4-hour chart, just to give us a perspective, we broke above to the 1440-ish level, we retraced, and we bounced back again, and now we're tracing. So really, gold is looking for some sort of footing, okay? It's looking for some sort of ground to be trading between. So far, we have extremities of 1435-ish level and on the bottom level 1400-ish level, and we're trading right between that, okay? So we still have to find some sort of footing here, and we're right in the middle of that. Now looking at the Dow Jones, you could see that's tapering off. I mean, ultimately this happened again last week, a couple of weeks ago, right before the US announced that it came up to some sort of terms with Mexico, and then the market just boomed, right? That was this real case right there. But still, it's tapering off. It's still, light volume, as you can see here. So something to consider as this continues to trade this week. So be aware of it. Now, lastly, looking at what I had open initially, which was ALCOA. Okay, we see that there's been some correction in ALCOA here to the upside, $23 a share. Okay, up from its $21. It's a nice $2 rally since the bottom that we hit in the beginning of June. And so this is really very important because, like I mentioned before in previous presentations, ALCOA is a bellwether. Okay, it really marks the expansion of our market, and so it's really important that we keep an eye on it to see if it does continue to expand. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, which has really been the one, this entire week, this entire month, really, looking at that Bitcoin, we're looking at a weekly chart, and you can see we had that wick that hit 13,000 and then retraced down to 11,000. So, ultimately, we're just hovering around this support level. Let's see if we do keep it. If we do keep it, then we could definitely go back to the 13,000. I mean, this is going to be the future. It's just a matter of time until it does hit new highs. But altogether, I just want to make sure that it's still very strong and making an about face and continuing to stay above this support level. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great weekend and a great trading day. Thank you.